Welcome to WeTaku Anime Reviews, a for this month only weekly podcast in which we talk about movies, because summer is fun. And when you're thinking of a bright, beautiful summer day, you're thinking of sitting in there with yourself, watching Polygon's latest act, Blame. I'd say you're watching with your friends, but I assume you love them. I'm
I watch
Jovan,
with
and
my
with me are my
friends.
three co-hosts. Please introduce yourselves, please.
Hey, I'm Thomas, and I don't really have time for all of these shows because I have 2 summer classes and they're kicking my butt.
Yeah!
I'm Steven, and I have a puppy in my lap. He's laying down now,
You
but
have to share
I'm
him.
sure you'll see him at some point.
You can't just tease
I will-
the chat
I will-
with puppy.
Okay, puppy. Here he is. He doesn't want to look at the camera.
Aw, it's okay, pupper.
I'm Allan. I hate my friends, apparently.
Oh man. And as I mentioned before, we're talking about Blame. If you know anything about Polygon, you know that CG is love, CG is life, CG is shoot me in the mouth, please. I'm very biased when it comes to this to begin with. I'm just gonna put this out there before we start actual discussion. I hate CG shows. There has yet to be a thing by Polygon I have finished, except for Blame, because it's a movie. Everything else by Polygon so far, Sidonia, Ajin, that
I
weird
don't know
cube
anything
one.
else.
There's one with the cube. Looks like it's done on the PlayStation 2, I don't know.
I think it's called
Listen.
Kato something.
Sure.
All that.
I hate all of them. They're so bad. I hate all of them so much because I cannot get past the visuals. I've heard good things about Ajin's plot. I can't get past the visuals for anything. So, like,
Apparently,
let it
Knights
be
of
known
Sidonia is
that right now-
fantastic.
Sure, maybe. My opinion is tainted by the fact that I can't do it. I cannot make myself sit down and, like, not look at it. But, before we head into spoiler section, things we can talk about. First off, I want to talk about soundtrack. Because the soundtrack was both good and, like, horribly generic.
It was like,
I barely noticed anything about it, like,
They-
honestly.
Polygon did Ghost in the Shell 2.
Oh, well.
No, they only did the CG parts of Ghost in the Shell 2. They didn't do the whole thing.
Oh,
I looked that up.
oh. Well, soundtrack, I thought it was kind of mediocre. Like you said, pretty generic, but it worked really well for the movie, and sound direction in general I thought was very good.
There
Like,
was
the
one
mus-
track. There was one track I liked a lot whenever Kiri uses his gun, like a certain song plays, and that was
Yeah.
great. Anything else?
I thought it was pretty good at setting up the tone for the show. It was very synthesized and like cyberpunk-esque. It made me think very vaguely of Blade Runner, but like tiny amount. And then there was only one track that really stood out to me where I was like, that's a little weird, and it's the final fight scene. It plays this song when a laser blast hits, and I was, when like main character like goes for in for a lunge, and I was like, that's
Is that the one that's basically Hedwig's theme, but like with half of it chopped off?
no, the one that's like all electric guitar and like
Oh.
and I was like,
Oh, yeah. No, fair enough. A lot happens there, but like nothing easily followable.
But I didn't hate it. I watched it in Japanese, but the English
Okay.
was on Netflix
Yeah,
as
I-
well.
So
I was gonna ask if, like, what people watched, because for once I actually watched the dub. And...
I also did dub.
Oh, really? I watched the sub.
I watched
Okay.
Japanese, yeah.
Okay. So on net, what? I just want to ask. There was a narrator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no narrator in the dub.
There's no narrator at all in the
There is
dub.
no narrator in the dub.
On top of that, if you watch the Netflix subs, they don't sub the narrator.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay, then wait. Wait, the narrator was like at the. What about the like final scene? That was completely narrated.
No.
Okay, no,
The
that-
final
that
scene,
was-
you
that
get the
was
narrator
fine.
there.
But like,
Okay.
The rest of the movie, I wasn't aware there was a narrator until Alan told me that they
No,
switched
yeah.
to the sub
So-
for a bit, and there was just a one.
So what happened was, me, and like the group that I was watching were originally watching in dub, but the dub was okay, but we wanted to see how the sub was. So we switched to the sub, and we watched it for like 5 minutes until like a narrator appeared. And this was still towards the beginning, but the narrator wasn't subbed. So we decided to switch back to the dub because we wanted to know what the narrator was saying. So we like went back to where we left off in the dub and then watched that entire scene again. There was no narrator, and we were baffled. Like, we had no idea what that narrator was saying, but
When
I
I
don't-
watched it, they like gave subtitles for the narration.
Yeah, I don't remember anything not subbed.
Yeah.
really,
Like, are you talking about like
Yeah.
when it does like a flashback as to like one of the expositionary moments?
it was way in the beginning when they were like walking back to the place.
I don't really remember. But
I
It was so
honestly
weird.
didn't give too much of a damn about the
No, that's fair.
story.
Yeah,
if I had
fair.
known, I would have looked out for it, but I didn't know. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No.
I was a little distracted. I was like making food at the same time.
Listen, I think we were all doing something while watching this movie. Just sit there and watch this movie sounds like not okay. And I think that just sums up this review session, doesn't
I'm
it?
gonna have to take a call really quick. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Yes,
Just link the
continue.
puppy. The puppy can tell us his opinions on Blame.
I watched it just sitting there along with
You
some
were
friends.
drunk.
I was not drunk, okay? I was only slightly inebriated. Very slightly.
Something to take the edge off. Because
Anyway.
there are a lot of edges.
So like we should like move on so that we can get into spoilers and stuff. So
We can
yeah, you take it away, Javon. You're the
Oh, am
talk
I
about how
doing
it
the
looks,
thing?
At least.
your host.
I think before we do spoilers, we have to hit the elephant in the room. With, like, a tank rifle.
Oh, we should talk about the animation.
That's the elephant, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The very poorly rendered frames cutting out elephant in the room.
Okay.
The models were fine. Like,
Ah.
honestly. Like,
No.
except for the...
Many of the models were fine. Side character humanoid models, or human models, not fine.
I actually have
Bad.
I actually have more of a problem with Kiri's model than I did with the, like, random-ass background characters.
God, random ass background characters tilted me. Their models were, like, not defined, and then when they moved, it was like, oh, we gave them 3 frames and are just trying to switch between them really, really fast.
Oh, like faded into the background.
Oh, God, there was so many... I had a lot of... No, but they were, like, in the foreground of the scene. They were just, like, not well done.
Kiri's face just bothered me throughout the entire thing.
No, that's
Like-
fair.
It was just odd. His, like, the placement of all of his features left, like, his cheeks to be so big. Like, it was so weird.
Oh, man. But, like, on top of that, like, Alan, you were describing this to me the other day when we were just talking about the movie. About what they did with frames and why it felt like everything was the jitteriest, like, most horrible experience for your eyes.
So it looked like what they did, at least for me, for at least most of the characters. I wasn't paying too much attention to background characters when they were, like, in the background. Is that they originally rendered all the scenes in, like, regular high frame rate, like, CG movement, but, like, I'm pretty sure what Polygon usually does is they cut out frames after they render it. Except for this, it looked like they cut, like, chunks of frames out instead of, like, just sort of spreading it out more. So it,
To
like,
increase upload and download speed.
well, it just sort of looks, it, like,
Choppy.
it doesn't look as odd because, just like how regular movies kind of, like, are set at a certain frame rate, because it just sort of looks odd to us when we watch them at higher frame rates. Like, I'm fairly certain that's what they do.
Hi.
Hey,
We're doing frame rates.
Yeah, and so when I looked at like very short periods of time, I would notice that characters would move at a very smooth frame rate, and then suddenly like their character model would jump a little bit.
But it wasn't like every so often. It happened fairly often.
Yeah.
As in, like, every scene.
Um,
Except for the spider things. The spider things looked gorgeous.
The spiders
Yeah.
were fine. Yeah.
the executioners.
Yeah, those things that, like, ran after people, like, their running never, like, it never jumped or anything. Like, there were no cuts in it, and, like, they looked fairly intimidating, and honestly, they were fine.
All the fast action I found was like pretty high frame rate. It was when they were not doing anything important, like walking or like talking to someone else,
Yeah.
that it looked like it was cut.
I disagree, just due to the fact that in, like, the final big fight, there's a part where I was like, man, this is a gorgeous fight scene. This is great. There's no cutting. Everything's going, oh no. Oh, right after that one punch connects and it looked gorgeous, and I was super into it for a moment. They're like, all right, back to Jitterland. We used up all of our budget on that one punch, I guess.
Okay, so other than frame rate, what did you think about it?
The animation?
Yeah.
I don't know why they were eating Legos.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, that was
And
interesting.
side characters, this isn't a frame rate problem, it's just they did not have good motion animations. I would actually hazard a guess and say all humans did not have good movement animations. Like, in general. It looked like a really janky video game where, like, you haven't really coded the ground around them or, like, their ability to operate on terrain. It's like when you're playing a PS2 game and, like, they kind of walk the same way no matter what they're on. And, like, that way is, like, not super well done either.
it looked better than Berserk.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
congratulations.
I was not a huge fan of the animation, but like I enjoyed it. Like I didn't think it was bad.
There are definitely parts where it just looked really good. Like when they're okay. So whenever there are a lot of moments where you could take screenshots and they'd be like perfect wallpapers.
Sure.
But like
Yeah, its composition was fantastic.
But movement, though.
As
Yeah.
as far as
Movement.
CG goes, like it's no Disney, but it was pretty good, I would say.
I didn't hate the CGI. It grew on me after a time. I stopped noticing it.
movement wasn't
My-
too bad, except for this one. There was like one scene where one of them was taking off a helmet and their hair just like moved at a really weird angle, and it looked like it just looked very off.
Hair looked really weird.
Yeah.
Hair was bad. Also, the fact that, like, when giant rocks fell, they fell at about half a mile per hour. And, like, it was noticeably slow. Like, I felt like they're floating down, like, underwater.
My biggest issue, though, as far as animation's concerned, the frames were bad. Some of the movement wasn't so great, and like the thing falling onto the bridge, and then the explosion because they didn't know how to make the bridge fall or something because they didn't want to mess with the resources. Anyway, other than that, like, I hated the lighting. Like, it was too dark sometimes, and sometimes that really worked in the scene, but overall, it looked like they were just too lazy on the shading or something, and they didn't want to like get some textures in the background, so they just made it black, and it ended up looking like too this and that, and as in like black and white or too high contrast, and it's hard to see. I have covers over my window, and it was still so dark that I had trouble even watching it and understanding everything that was happening. Like, especially when they're going down the giant staircase, I was like, "Hey, look, a giant staircase!" And Sam was like, "What? I can't see anything. I see some red lights." And I was like,
Yeah.
"There's a staircase."
Yeah.
That also brings up a good point though, just saying like not able to see anything. I found it hard to keep up with, which isn't only a problem with this show. Like I have that problem with lots of like not show but movie. I have that problem with lots of movies. Like I think it was like the second Transformers movie I was trying to watch and I was just like, I don't know what's happening. It's a fight scene, I don't know who's doing what.
Well,
Everything's just
those
moving.
movies- I'm gonna put it out there. Those movies aren't exactly known for a cohesive plot. I don't think you were in the
I
wrong
know.
on that one.
But it's just like it's less about the plot and more just like everything's moving so fast that in a given scene I don't know what's happening. Like
Oh,
it's
I
just
see.
It's just a bunch of stuff going on at once.
It's like when we're trying to play Smash with like more than 2 people.
He's just
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, Michael Bay's like strategy is just overwhelm you with boobs, cars, booms, and CGI robot people.
And
Yeah,
China
but
loved it.
I got a little bit out of this too. Not necessarily the boobs and whatnot, but I got a lot of the, like, here's some robots and
Things are happening.
humans moving and fighting, and that's about it. So,
Yeah, I want to save that bit for when we get into spoilers, which I think we're about to jump into. Just due to the fact that, yeah, I had a lot of problems with that as well.
okay.
So, jumping into spoiler section, if you haven't seen this movie, heard us talking about it, and think, hey, you know what, I want to see this for myself.
Oh,
Go
we
do
didn't
that.
say like or dislike though.
Oh, you're right. I dislike it. I dislike it a lot. I hate this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Hey, recommendations not yet.
Yeah, get out of here, Allan.
Hey,
Go.
hey. I didn't like it. Fine.
If you have some extra time and you really have gone through a lot of your Netflix list, I'll give it a like. But it's a weak one.
Yeah,
I've got a weak thumb, but I still liked it.
I'm about the same place, but I'm also gonna give it a like. It's, on the one hand, it's a strong meh, but I also liked it. I liked watching it.
Alright, and with all that in mind, we are going to jump into spoiler section, so we're about to hit spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to spoilers. As always, I have to ask, and this is the hardest time I think I've ever given it, who's best girl?
Shibo.
Shibo.
Sure.
I'm gonna say Ty because
No!
poor Ty.
It's
No, thank fucking God. I hated her.
I think it's probably Shibo, because
Like-
Shibo was a character,
I'm saying
and
Shibo
that
for
was
lack
the
of
lowest point.
anything else. Like,
Shibo
there's-
was a character, and
Yeah.
that's the most characterization you've gotten out of any character. All right, so I'm gonna give everybody the characters here real fast. The rundown for anybody who didn't want to watch this shit show of a movie. Ahem. You have Kiri. He's the main character. He kills robots and has a really cool gun.
He speaks like
There's
3
Shibo.
times.
He speaks like 3 times. Shibo, his witty sidekick thing that he found half dead, if not entirely dead,
and she's the only character who actually does anything throughout the entire movie.
and gets like a cool robot body halfway
That-
through.
That's really the only reason I take her.
Now, let me give you a rundown of the other characters.
Zuru,
Tai gets caught sometimes. Sudu
she
feels
cries.
bad about Tai getting caught, is apparently the greatest engineer fighter thing ever. Wouldn't know. Everyone else, I mean, there were
Old man.
characters.
Old man
old
and
man.
then 2 boys.
Oh
Old
wait,
man and the guys, and
Yeah,
one
okay,
guy
that's
who
pretty
wants to
cool.
bang Tai.
yeah, I could give Pops best girl. He was okay.
He was there.
He lost an arm and just
I-
went with it.
So did Kiri.
I just
Yeah,
wanna-
but he's not exactly.
They
human.
duct tape Kiri's back arm back on. They just duct tape his arm back on.
Yeah, but he's not human. Pops
Well,
is human.
He is human. He's in the body of one of
I
the...
He's
don't
not in a
even know-
human body.
I don't even know if his character could be described as human.
No,
Serious?
definitely not.
So
but-
I was super confused at
Terminator has more
first.
personality than
Shibo and Kitty are both human, but they're in cyborg bodies. Or like
Yeah,
robot
yeah.
bodies.
Yes.
something
And
like
then
that.
everybody
Just
else-
like to explain it for the viewers.
Yeah, but like,
One viewer.
yeah, come on, we get more on videos.
This is also where I want to bring up. I don't know which character Tai was, because
Ty's the one
they
that
yelled
died.
her name. Yes, I know she's the one that died, but I still don't know which one that was, because they just. First of all, she looked almost identical to
Oh.
Zuru,
No.
and
Oh
then
my god.
Yeah.
and then they
No.
just yelled her name every 5 minutes.
Let me one more gripe with animation. Sorry, one more gripe with animation. Every character looks the goddamn same. Every character is not Kiri or Shibo. Looks the exact goddamn same.
Yeah,
they
that's
had one
like-
model.
no, yeah,
they
I-
had one model and they shared it.
Well,
I
they
only-
had Pops and an evil cyborg chick, and
Okay, true.
I only
so there are
vaguely.
5 different Pops.
I
There are
only.
5 models for about 40 characters. Good.
I only vaguely knew who Ty was, and the only reason I picked her as best girl is because while we were watching, like, during that scene where they just like go back for her, and she's just sitting there, Like, apparently she was dead, but she was just sitting there, like, and she looked unharmed. We all were like, what the fuck? She just got left behind.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I said. They're like, because everyone else was like freaking out. They're like, "Oh, she got crushed," meaning like she died, I guess, in their lingo. And they just get back and she's like, "Oh, hi, my arm's broken," and like she's chill as fuck. And then,
But she was dead.
yeah, she's dead.
Just like, she got left behind, man. What the fuck?
There was also blonde girl that when she died, I was like, "No, the most important character whose
She
name
said that
isn't
one
there."
joking line. That's the problem. That's every character's problem. And the worst part is the movie, like the first 15 minutes of movie, are 6 characters, 3 of which just kind of die, all of which were supposed to be given personality, all of which are wearing masks, none of which you can get, like, or feel anything about, or, like, care. And then when half of them die, and the main characters, I guess, that are left go back to the main city with Kiri or whatever, nobody cares.
Yeah, no,
It's like, what
really,
happened to the other 3? Yeah.
exactly
All right.
that.
Well, glad to see
So-
you're back.
My biggest gripe with this movie, Zuru, all she did was cry. Like, she
cried a
literally
lot.
did nothing else. It's like, Ty's dead, I'm gonna cry. It's like,
Kiri
she
asked
just
me to say
cried.
hello, and I'm gonna cry.
But the worst part, my biggest gripe with this movie is at towards the very end, when they're like walking down the stairs to the next level or whatever, the Pops looks at her and she says like, "I'm so sorry," and he's like, "No, we should be thanking you." I'm like, she didn't do a thing.
She got 3 of your
What
people
would you-
killed.
What would you be thanking her for? She did nothing.
You didn't even bring a Lego back.
She happened to run into Kitty. She had a stroke of luck with that. It was nothing that she did.
Oh
I guess
my-
she took her helmet off?
She did,
but
but she
like-
didn't say anything. It's just because Kiri wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
And she cried when she took her helmet off, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, all she did was cry.
At least their battle suits were kind of cool.
I mean, I guess.
The males were cooler because they were like samurai-esque, but then the females had like skirts.
I don't know, TVH, I thought we were watching Bionicles at first, but, you know.
Yeah, no. That's
The
definitely
Everyone had
a
like
good...
Bionicles, though.
everyone had Kopaku's helmet.
Yeah, actually, though. But I want to hit on something else I had, like, a big problem with, and maybe you guys who watched the sub, who got a narrator, this wasn't as bad. But I didn't know what the plot of the movie was until maybe 40 minutes in. And I don't mean, like, a vague... I didn't know what world they were in, like, what was happening, until 40 minutes into this, like, hour-and-a-half movie.
I'm about the same place with that.
Like, what world are they in? I don't know. They said there's, like, creators or... Oh, okay, 40 minutes in, the creators used to be controlled by humans and went rogue. Okay, cool, that would have been... The city is expanding and continues to expand. Awesome! Great!
Yeah.
That, like, maybe 10 minutes in.
Oh, also, I had an issue that the coolest part of the movie was when the builder showed up, and it was never important again.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
The builder shows up, it's like, they don't care about humans, and then left.
The coolest fucking part of the movie. I thought it was going to be like the centerpiece, like they're gonna like ride on this builder to like salvation or something, and like go on this epic journey. And nope, they turn around and walk the other way. I was like, all right. Okay.
That's it for the builder. Like, we're gonna mention the builder again. We don't actually even know what a builder is until maybe another half hour in, but, you know, whatever.
I read the the description on Netflix for everything. So I read that before
you got
watching
that.
the movie. So I knew it was a self-replicating city. That's all I knew.
You know, maybe they just
Which
assumed
is
everybody
important.
would read the Netflix description.
Yeah.
They talked about it in the show. They said that
Yeah,
they just
40
kept
minutes
building
in.
the city.
40 minutes
It was
in.
way too late in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, if I hadn't read that, I would have been so confused for so long. Because, like, they brought up the builder before saying what's going on, so it's like, builder, what? It's like a giant dog thing?
Gotta watch out for
What?
the watchtowers. What's watching you? What's happening?
Yeah.
Terminators are here. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, I think they wanted to keep you in mystery and suspense, but it fell
No,
flat.
I understand, like, that's a method of storytelling. You don't do it for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I need to
Oh.
at least know, like, what you are 500 levels up. In what? Are you underground? Because that's what I just got out of this.
Also, what are hell metals?
I think those are the suits. They
They're
might
just
be
the
the
helmets. They're just the helmets.
That
It's
that's
just a
it?
fancy word for helmet. I
that,
think
like,
the
the original
Japanese
word
people
for
were like, helmet, metal, helmetol.
I hate
I'm
you.
gonna look it up.
That's all. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
Um,
It's either the helmet or the suit. Either way, it was like that.
But-
thing.
Yep. That is the name of a guy. Like the first thing that comes up is a guy from India. Helmet, tall.
Anyway, pretty much the beginning of the movie, like all I knew was they don't have food. They need food, and for some reason they're eating sludge.
Yeah, and that didn't come up again.
No, it
Yeah,
did
they-
come up again, but like they didn't explain what this sludge is or why they're eating
No,
it.
we're eating
They
Lego
talk-
cheese blocks.
They talked about that they found it and it was dried up. I don't remember
Yeah.
them finding shit.
No, they never
just-
did find it. All they ended up eating were Legos.
Which will feed them for all of eternity. Thank you, Lego gods.
The
It's
Lego
just like,
turned into
what's
like
this
sponge
yellow
cake.
thing? It has water on it. Let's just throw it in this water
Okay,
and then
okay. Can someone tell me how they knew it was fucking nutritious from like tasting it?
just biting
Well,
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back in time, long time ago, we were able to tell if something was good for you if it tasted good. Because salt, sugar, fat all taste good and you need it, therefore nutritious. They don't care about any like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin like that doesn't matter. They're surviving, they're not staying
Yeah,
healthy.
fair.
That's
So
fair.
that's probably how they figured that out. And
These were blocks of Lego, but alright, sure. I'll give it to you.
I'm just saying. And then I imagined. So I went to like an Indian restaurant a couple like weeks ago, and I got like one of their. It was just. It looked like grits, like southern grits, but it was like sweet. It was awesome. I just imagined it tasted like that. I want some more of that. I don't remember the name of it. Start with the name.
We can't help you, buddy. But enjoy. Enjoy your Indian grit Legos. Because now I'm imagining you got it in the form of like
Jesus.
Legos.
It was like a mush.
Lego mush. Too late. No turning back.
Awful.
But my other problem, like, sure, I didn't find out about, you know, what the movie even was like set in. I didn't find out what the setting was until 40 minutes in. But I didn't find out the plot until still. What happened?
Until what?
Still. What happened in this movie?
Well,
Oh.
so there was they've been living in the self-replicating city,
Right?
and it's trying to kill them. Like
Uh-huh.
the city is like trying to exterminate all human life that
Doesn't have
there was
the
the
super
gene. Yeah, so there was some kind of gene.
It's the network
that, like,
access gene, net access gene,
Yeah, but like what that gene does is allow them to control the city. So
I guess.
I don't know. I guess over time humans lost that.
Sure. Seems
It,
like a
like-
really shitty evolutionary trait, but whatever.
Yeah, but yeah. So the city basically doesn't want these heathens inside of itself, so it starts killing them, and they're surviving only through this barrier that Shibo had set up for some reason.
Sure.
And then yeah, they infiltrate the city, mess stuff up. Killy's there.
They find the equivalent of a net carrier gene, except it's a computer, so it's a net carrier
Yeah.
terminal. They use it to only make food and not like tell the robots not to kill them. And then
And
they
then
go.
Shibo is able. Shibo doesn't have the net access gene, so the like city can't tell her anything. But it's like you can access this since you're here, and she gets a map, and she's like, "Here, go here, and you'll be safe." And that was it.
Oh, also
Yeah.
Shiba's arm is a character.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. My brain is in my arm. Okay, so now there's a spider dog arm thing.
They kind
Okay,
of
sure.
alluded to it, but like they didn't do a great job with it.
But yeah,
like,
they also
the
set up
story
for a
amount to
sequel,
anything?
I think, and
It
I don't
just-
know how I feel about that.
It was really just a side story. Like it just
It
felt
was.
so much like
Story.
a side story.
And
And
that's
it literally was.
It was, yeah. So, after I watched this movie, I did a little bit of research on the internet, trying to figure out what the hell I just watched. There's a Forbes article by a fan of the Blame manga that describes the movie in detail and probably gives a better review than I ever could because this guy loves the manga. like a lot. This is the manga's biggest fan writing a review of the movie. But so this was like a side arc, a minor, like not even a very large arc of the Blame manga. A pretty small one. On top of that, Kiri, who we've all noted as like not a great main character, was purposefully sidelined because he's not a very good main character and they didn't think the movie would be able to like show anything about him, which it didn't. And like the side characters from that like side arc became the main characters. Unfortunately, there wasn't much to characterize them with to begin with, so...
You know, I guess that execution is poor, but if you think about it more theoretically, it's like... It's a neat way to frame, like, an arc of a manga, because, like, there's the main character... Say, I don't know what the actual plot of the Blame as a whole is, but I assume Kitty is the main character, is what it sounds like. So, you know, he's probably going on this journey, this quest, whatever, going through. And so, like, he happens to come across this settlement. And so I think it's really interesting to see it from the perspective of the villagers having this, like, character helping them.
Yeah, he's
rather
like
than the
Yeah,
other way
but if
around.
No, I agree. It's an interesting idea.
But if
The
you
execution
It
really
was
want-
executed poorly.
If you really want that, go watch like Mushishi or something like that.
or
like,
a western like movie.
yeah.
Like he just sounds like a
Western
drifter,
movie.
like any Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood, John Wayne movie.
Or certain arcs of Berserk.
we're on an anime podcast, so yeah.
Hey, in case there are normies around, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Blame is a Netflix movie. Maybe some people were just like, oh boy, Netflix made a thing. I want to watch. Oh no.
So I looked up the dessert while we were on a lull. It's halwa, is what it's called.
Halwa.
Halwa.
All right,
Very good.
so I know that Arabic and like the Hindu language have influenced each other, and I'm laughing super hard because A, that's the Arabic word for dessert.
I mean, that's what came up with Google, so I don't know.
No, it's fine. I mean, pronounced differently, sure. But that's just the Arabic word for A, dessert, B, good, and 3, sweets. But I'm just...
It's
No,
literal.
you know what?
It's
Great.
fine.
Fantastic. I love it. I love that.
Duji
Go.
halwa.
I'm so happy.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh, man. Yeah, but, like... I get the idea of like, okay, we can't adapt this whole thing because Blame is massive, apparently. So let's do this one side arc. But like, I needed the characters of that side arc to exist?
Yeah.
I'm not asking for them to be the best characterized characters ever, but this movie does run
This-
longer than the average anime movie.
This was
It's
like-
about 2 hours.
this was
Yeah.
a poor choice. Like it probably was their best choice, but it's still a poor choice to like introduce the world on. I'd rather this be like an OVA series or something, where they could actually choose somewhere to start.
Like
Yeah.
Knights of Sidonia style?
Huh?
Like Knights of Sidonia, like actual show, or just like
Well,
3
like
OVAs?
it doesn't have to be a show, but like, well, kind of, I guess. 'Cause,
Maybe
like,
even a series of movies.
yeah. I mean,
No, we do more.
Like short movies. Like you're
Yeah.
saying like 40-minute long things.
yeah,
like a few-
basically.
Yeah, I pretty much felt the same way. Like, I actually really liked the world and the, like, plot of this as a whole. It was just, the characters sucked.
No,
And most of the beginning of the movie was confusing. I think if we had a little more time in this world, it could have been done a lot
no,
better.
they had plenty of time. I think if they paced it better.
I don't
It
know.
was 2 hours.
The characters were just introduced so poorly, and like, nothing
'Cause I
was
agree, the French-
truly
But I imagine
explained.
These characters in the manga also probably didn't exist because they're side characters that have now been, like, shoehorned
No, I get
into
it.
a main character
But
role.
you have a movie. You can write your own movie. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
But-
So let's say I'm going in to watch a movie right now, like any movie. I don't know like what the main thing is. I don't know if it's based off a book. I just went into the movie theater and decided to watch. What's a movie that's coming out, guys? Somebody help me out.
Bourne.
Bourne.
The new Jason Bourne.
Great. I've never heard of Jason Bourne before in my life. I'm going in. Like, sure, it's based on something before that, but I'm just a moviegoer. I don't know that. I'm just going in for a movie. And you know what that movie does? It gives me characters I care about. it gives me a plot I can follow, and it gives me a world that it is set in.
Born was a bad choice then.
Born is Give me any like
First
sci-fi.
strike.
Blade Runner. Give me Blade Runner.
Okay, yeah.
Blade Runner. I'm sure it's based on something. I actually don't know what it's based on. Probably a book or something.
Do androids stream of electric sheep?
Thank you. They took a slice out of that world. They didn't take the whole thing. But, for the most part, I understand what Blade Runner's world is. I understand the characters they introduced and the side characters that they introduced. And it gave me a cohesive movie.
Yeah.
Blame, with I'm sure also had a huge amount of, like, things in the background, executed that terribly. The pacing was awful. What were the first 40 minutes of the movie for? Tell me.
They for world building, but it didn't.
No, they
do
weren't.
much.
A lot of it was them just walking and talking. It was bad.
But,
Yeah.
like, they didn't talk of anything either.
No, it was all inane BS. Like, I would have told them to shut up in real life and just keep walking.
like, they wasted so much time. Like, I'm not gonna say we needed more time, because that's not fair. Because that's shitting in the face of, like, every other movie that's ever been made. Except for the bad ones, I guess. I'm going to say... you know what I mean. I'm going to say they had enough time. They used it horribly. So they, like, cut the amount of effective time they had to use in half for little to no reason.
And then by that point, like, no one really cared. Like, there was no reason to care. So.
No, now we're cooking food, or, like, playing the new Fire Emblem game, or, like, sitting on the couch with friends and suffering through it. I'm so sorry, Alan.
I was eating
Like-
a cake.
Okay, see, he had a cake to drown his sorrows. But, like, they wasted it. I feel like this is not on Blame the manga, or, like, it's not on the choice to do this arc. I feel like it's entirely on the writers and the director who decided, like, waste as much effective time as possible so that we don't know anything about this movie. And also the people who decided to give it to Polygon and make it full CG, but hey, whatever, that's on me.
Yeah, it's more of a taste choice.
Yeah,
I don't know. I liked it. The first 40 minutes were a slog, admittedly, but the last hour, you know, I liked
The last
it.
hour picks up, sure, but, like, at that point I already hate the movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you're right, especially the last fight scene was mostly good, except for when it wasn't. But, like, there were a lot of really cool shots, a lot of fluid animation. But, like, by that point, I'm just like, alright, cool, you had a good fight scene, but that doesn't make this movie okay. I don't know, Are we ready to jump into final thoughts and ratings?
Yeah.
Probably.
It's a pretty short one, but sure.
Listen. We're doing a movie, this isn't a full, like, 4-hour run, or, like, to 8-hour run, depending on the show. This is a 2-hour thing. So, I'll go first, because mine is the most obvious. No, don't watch it. Don't watch this movie. If you want to watch something sci-fi, watch any other sci-fi. All of them. Just about all of them. If you want something with a cool premise that completely throws it away, you know what, I'm pretty sure there are, like, better versions of that too that I could think of, but whatever. But, like, this has a cool premise, it has a cool world. I agree with Steven on that. Like, I agree that the idea of this ever-expanding city that became hostile to humans when the robots, like, stopped accepting their orders, awesome. This idea of this, like, berserk, like, wanderer going around, like, he's basically Guts except in sci-fi, wandering, trying to, like, just get his own goal, but, like, coming across random villages and helping them out. Aight, sure. The way the movie was executed, terrible. Let it be known I have nothing against, the Blame franchise. I don't know anything about it, but I have nothing against the ideas presented. I think the movie was horribly executed, and I don't think it's worth a watch. Do not recommend.
Oh man, that was pretty succinct. Yeah, I said it right. I hope.
I sometimes, after watching some of these shows, like Fortune Arterial, I feel like I wasted my time. Or I actually, with Fortune Arterial, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun to make fun of. But
Yeah.
like sometimes,
Yeah, we got
sometimes,
something
like,
out of Fortune Arterial.
sometimes there's like nothing to be gained out of it, and I can't really think of one off the top of my head right now. And it's not important. But I felt like it didn't waste my time with this. Like, this was something that I was like, oh, okay, I think that's how it ended. Like credits roll, shoulders, like in that order, and I was like, all right, like no, I didn't change my life. I don't feel like I'm worse off. I don't feel like I'm better off. If you got time to waste, if you're trying to avoid a project or something, put this on or something. I don't know. I got a project I need to be doing right now.
I'm mostly of the same mind, but I think I will rewatch it because I think the second time around it might even be more enjoyable because those first 40 minutes I already know the world I'm in, you know. I think it might be better the second time around. Javon is giving me very.
No, I'm sure the movie will be better the second time around because you'll understand what's going on in the first 40 minutes. That's not worth it. You have to watch this movie twice for you to even understand the basic concept of the setting.
No, you don't have to. Like, I understand it by the end. But, like, yeah. I am going to recommend it. Like I said, I'm very meh about it. As Thomas said, didn't change my life. It's just kind of whatever. I watched that. But I got all the way through it. It wasn't like I hated myself while watching it. So, yeah, I'll watch it again, and I'd recommend it. I'm probably gonna make my friends sit down and watch it with me because I hate them. So, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna just outright say I don't think you should watch this, honestly. And I'm gonna say that I recently found out, because I don't spend a lot of time on our anime. I actually very rarely go on it. But apparently they have like a huge ass flowchart of recommendations for everything, almost everything that you could possibly want. And I'd say if you're gonna pick this up, I'd say just look at that flowchart and just find something else. Honestly.
Wait, is it like on the front page? Is it sticky? I just went onto it because like I don't go onto this subreddit very much either.
I'll send it to you.
All right. Cool. You should like put that in the description of the video. Put that in the description of the video, Allan.
Yeah, if I remember, I'll do that.
Suffering and how much they deserved it. That's a great chart.
My personal favorite flowchart is the Vegeta in every battle flowchart because, like, man, is it super accurate and it kind of makes you sad for Vegeta's existence.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, I'll have to send it to you. It's so good.
Our anime actually has a beginner's flowchart and a more advanced flowchart.
Oh man, put them both in the. You know what? Put them both in the description. That sounds useful for this one.
I think they both have the same imager link. So.
How did? Okay, sure.
One's just on top of the other.
Yeah, like an album.
Yeah. Alrighty. I guess with all that in mind, that is our feelings on Blame. I would like to put one thing though. Whereas Thomas felt if you guys can't tell, I'm legitimately angry at this movie. I have like hatred swelling up in me. So. Just, if you react badly to feeling like your time is wasted, don't do it. Alright, anyways, moving on. We are doing Allan's movie next week. Allan, what are we watching?
We're gonna watch Koi no Katachi, or A Silent Voice, by KyoAni.
And what's it about?
It is about a high school boy, who in his childhood had bullied she's deaf, right?
Yeah, she's deaf.
A deaf girl, and is bullied because of that later on in life, and he kind of has to deal with that. And one day, the girl had moved away, and the girl one day moves back, and he tries to rekindle like their relationship or like make up, and yeah.
Kids are awful.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that right now.
Oh boy, can't wait for next week.
Who makes fun of people for stuff like that? Who makes fun of people at all anymore?
Thomas, that's the first like half hour of that movie.
Oh, that's so sad. I don't want to do that. Wait, I love that though. Thomas is like, it's 2017. Who's still bullying?
Leave that shit in the 50s.
Oh man. Alright.
Alright, well, that's the movie we're doing next week. Plus, new Ori was announced, so when that comes out, look for it on our gaming channel because that's a game I want to do more of. I'm just putting it out there right now because new Ori was announced like last week, and that's exciting. And by last week, I mean like yesterday. It was announced yesterday.
Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was.
Anyways, look forward to that when eventually TM comes out. And with all that in mind, we'll see you guys next week for Allan's movie, Going to Katachi. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.